working in this industry, it can push you in a lot of different directions that are not necessarily positive.
Lots of weird things happen to kids all the time, all around the world, every day. You know, I have something to show for it.
Is that because you're just not interested, or?
Yeah, kind of not interested. I don't really like the pursuit of it. You know, like what it takes
the whole process,
to
auditions,
exactly.
meetings.
I don't like being on the circuit.
Elijah Wood has just thrown some serious shade, stepping up to back his buddy Macaulay Culkin in what's turning into a high-stakes showdown against none other than Oprah Winfrey.
After a while, it became, like I said, a job, and it was I never chose the projects.
Sources say Elijah isn't holding back, warning about the dark underbelly of Hollywood that Culkin's been trying to expose for years.
I can get a good career doing this. You know, it's going to be good.
And now, Oprah's name is swirling in the mix, raising eyebrows everywhere. Could she be tied to the very secrets Macaulay's been hinting at? Is Elijah calling her out for being part of the problem? Let's get into it. You know, Hollywood is pretty much the epicenter of entertainment. It's where we get our favorite movies, TV shows, and where some of our most beloved stars shine. But let's not kid ourselves. Beneath all that glitz and glamour, there's a seriously dark side. One of the worst parts about Hollywood is how it exploits young talent. We've all heard those horror stories about young actors being taken advantage of by industry bigwigs. And it's not just rumors, these things really happen. Take Oprah Winfrey, for example. Some people claim she's part of this elite group that allows such terrible behavior to continue. What's really frustrating, though, is how these stories are often brushed off or not given the attention they deserve.
Former child star Elijah Wood says Hollywood has a seedy underbelly of child and that those responsible are being protected by the entertainment industry elite.
Conversations about child SA in Hollywood aren't new. In his 2013 book, Choreography, Corey Feldman detailed the alleged he and his The Lost Boys co-star Corey Haim faced as child stars. Despite this, the discussion hasn't gained the same momentum as the conversation surrounding Bill Cosby's alleged SA, which stayed quiet until Hannibal Buress made his now famous joke. Maybe this is the moment for change. Elijah Wood recently sat down with the Sunday Times and described Hollywood as an industry full of vipers, where, if you can imagine it, it's probably happened. According to Elijah Wood, he was protected from A by his mother, who didn't let him go to parties. However, he mentioned that his peers were regularly preyed upon by those in power. If you're innocent, you have very little knowledge of the world and you want to succeed, Wood said. People with parasitic interests will see you as their prey. He compared what he witnessed to the SA crimes carried out by the English TV personality Jimmy Savile, which became a scandal following his death. Speaking to the English paper, Wood said, "You all grew up with Savile. Jesus, it must have been devastating. Clearly, something major was going on in Hollywood. It was all organized." Wood said that victims can't speak as loudly as people in power, which often means their stories aren't acted upon and the perpetrators aren't punished. It's a horrifying thought, but hopefully this will give the conversation momentum again, or maybe inspire more former child actors to share their experiences. But it looks like the same power thing happened with him as well. Shortly after this interview, he released a statement clarifying his remarks. The Sunday Times interviewed me about my latest film, but the story became about something else entirely. It prompted a number of false and misleading headlines. I had just seen a powerful documentary, and I briefly spoke with a reporter about the subject, which had consequences I did not intend or expect. Lesson learned. Let me be clear. This subject of CA is an important one that should be discussed and properly investigated. But as I made absolutely clear to the writer, I have no firsthand experience or observation of the topic, so I cannot speak with any authority beyond articles I have read and films I have seen. Wood pointed out the disturbing reality that victims often can't speak as loudly as the powerful people harming them. He described it as tragic, trying to expose what happens to innocent people who are silenced while their lives are irreparably damaged. Thankfully, Wood credits his mother, Deborah, for protecting him from such situations, preventing him from becoming a victim of the industry's darker side. However, he acknowledged that even as an adult, he has been exposed to dark situations, realizing that these terrible things are likely still happening. What Wood shared aligns perfectly with what Feldman has been saying for years. It sounds like you're talking about Elijah Wood and his journey in Hollywood. He became one of the most recognizable pop culture icons, which might seem like a gift, but it's also a heavy burden that few manage to escape. However, Wood managed to slip out from under the crushing weight of typecasting in some surprisingly clever ways. Throughout his career, the words, "you can always do better," have stayed with him from childhood to now. With the support of his loving mother, he was able to survive Hollywood as a teen, stay grounded, and build a flourishing career that continues to thrive.
Both internally and, where I am in my career if it hadn't been for my mom.
She kept you grounded?
Yeah, she was obsessed with keeping me grounded. She drilled humility into me.
However, in his flourishing career, he has seen many things that should not be performed, and one such thing is CT. And this is what Macaulay has been trying to convey recently. After laying low for a bit, he's back and dropping some wild truth bombs about Hollywood's dirty little secrets. And guess what? He's even calling out Oprah. Yep, he's stirring things up big time, spilling the tea on all the shady stuff going down behind the scenes in Tinseltown. If you've been paying attention, you know he's not holding back.
Lots of weird things happen to kids all the time, all around the world, every day. I have something to show for it.
Oprah's got that squeaky clean rep as the ultimate media queen, but her name's been tied to some seriously sketchy folks, like John of God, Harvey Weinstein, and Diddy. Word on the street? She might have even helped these predators connect with their victims. If there's even a shred of truth to this, it's a bombshell that could blow Hollywood wide open, exposing a twisted web of corruption and exploitation that's been lurking in plain sight all along.
Culkin has blown the whistle on the entertainment industry elite to reveal that Hollywood studio executives are bloodthirsty Satanists.
Culkin's not standing alone in exposing Hollywood's dark side. He's got some heavy hitters backing him up. Former child stars like Elijah Wood and Corey Feldman have also come forward with their own chilling stories. Elijah didn't mince words in one interview, saying, "Clearly something major was going on in Hollywood. It was all organized. There are a lot of vipers in this industry, people who only have their own interests in mind. There is darkness in the underbelly. If you can imagine it, it's probably happened." Corey Feldman added fuel to the fire, sharing the abuse and exploitation he and other young stars endured. Together, they're ripping the mask off Hollywood's shiny exterior, exposing the twisted reality hiding beneath all the glitz and glam.
I'm saying that there are people that were the people that did this to both me and Corey that are still working, they're still out there, and they're some of the richest, most powerful people in this business.
During his peak career years like Elijah, Corey likely earned a significant amount of money. However, Corey has alleged that his mother exploited his earnings, which is unfortunately a common issue among child stars in entertainment. To address such challenges and safeguard their finances, some young actors like Corey have sought legal emancipation from parental control. These efforts have contributed to better working conditions for young performers, prompting the industry to pay more attention to their rights and well-being.
I was a little frustrated, like, how am I going to do this? How am I going to stay up all night? And this little Asian lady comes up to me and she's like, "Hey, you should just do what your mom does to stay awake." And I was like, "What's that?" And she's like,
In the 1980s, actors, especially young ones, often had less awareness and knowledge about protecting themselves from potential exploitation in Hollywood. Corey Feldman's experiences during that era served as a cautionary tale for future generations of actors entering the industry. His story highlights the critical need to safeguard young talents and prioritize their well-being in an environment that can unfortunately be predatory. It's a reminder of the ongoing importance of industry reforms and protections for child actors.
You know, when you get to those ages, all of a sudden they start treating you more like you're an adult, right? And the work code still applies.
Back in 2013, Corey did something really brave. He dropped a memoir spilling the beans on the awful stuff he and Corey Haim went through in Hollywood when they were just kids, like 11 to 13 years old. It shone a big spotlight on how some big shots in the industry treated them, sparking a lot of talk about how Hollywood needs to do better at protecting young actors and holding people accountable.
I was like, oh, okay, well, she makes it sound so easy and harmless, I might as well. If my mom's doing it, how bad could it be, you know?
His revelations about the A he faced during his career, especially during his childhood years, extended beyond Hollywood. He also disclosed that his struggles with substance A later in life were partly a result of the trauma he endured during those difficult years.
We did it, we had fun, it was like, you know, we were talking, we were sitting in this girl's apartment, she takes me out driving, she taught me how to drive a stick shift, high on for the first time.
Corey's choice to speak up, maybe even name names of those who heard him and Corey Haim, shows how deep-seated the problems are in showbiz, especially for child actors. It's like what Brooke Shields went through, being exploited and all at such a young age. Corey's revelations really push for more awareness and protection for young performers. Yeah, Corey's never held back when it comes to exposing Hollywood's shady side. As he became more outspoken, he faced pushback from industry folks who's reportedly connected to Oprah.
And they do not want me saying what I'm saying right now.
Are you saying that they're pedophiles?
Yes.
Oprah's been through her fair share of controversies, accusations of smear campaigns against critics, sabotaging careers, and even some really disturbing claims.
Oprah legitimized the notorious criminal Joe Teixeira, aka John of God, as a miraculous faith healer, one who could cure cancer.
Back in 2007, Oprah Winfrey decided to open a boarding school in South Africa, inspired by Nelson Mandela. She named it the Leadership Academy for Girls. Despite opposition from the South African government due to its high costs in a poor area, the school opened with facilities like salons and gyms, which raised eyebrows. There have been scandals at the school over the years, though conspiracy theories about HT are unsubstantiated.
Okay, look up, man.
So Oprah built this $40 million school in South Africa, and they had 152 students attend. Oprah actually handpicked the 152 students who attended her school, but it wasn't long until some of these students were being harmed by one of the employees of the school. Her name is Virginia, and she was 27 years old at the time, and she was charged with 13 counts of getting inappropriate with the kids. Virginia got physical with at least 6 students aged 13 to 15. So these students were handpicked by Oprah to go and live at this academy, and one of these employees who is managing the dorm is physically touching them and doing things to them and harming them. The A scandal that has rocked Oprah Winfrey's South African School for Girls does not reflect badly on the famous talk show host, wrote The Times, a Johannesburg newspaper, in an editorial. It reflects badly on this nation, and it should not be surprising that it manifested itself in Oprah's school. Oprah should not be condemned for allegations made against this matron. She should be praised for her decision to aggressively deal with it. Yeah, that incident really stained South Africa's reputation, especially given their history with school employees harming kids. Oprah handpicked that employee, so it's troubling she put those students at risk. After the Virginia news came out, Oprah actually went to South Africa with a team to dig into what really went down at the academy.
6 students of the 152 accepted students by Oprah to attend the institution, laying accusations on the dorm matron Virginia Tinley Mascabo.
It's crazy how things unfolded at Oprah's school in South Africa. She had to go there herself to get to the bottom of it all, given her name's attached to it. And yeah, that Virginia case? Cleared of charges, but then they turned around and tried to sue Oprah for defamation. Justice systems can be a mess anywhere, right? And then there's more drama at the school. Less than 2 years later, another incident popped up. Some students were in physical altercations, and there was pressure to keep quiet about it. 7 students got suspended for allegedly intimidating others and doing inappropriate stuff. It sounds like things have been pretty turbulent there since it opened, so people are puzzled why Oprah visited the school less than a year ago to sort things out. Yet issues like this are still happening. How does a 15-year-old get away with pressuring their schoolmates into keeping quiet and lying to officials about it? And this next incident is even more disturbing. So apparently, less than 2 years after that second scandal, cops found a dead newborn at Oprah's school in South Africa. One of Oprah's hand-picked students, who hasn't been identified yet, gave birth there. Instead of seeking help, she reportedly ended up putting the baby in her backpack. She had to go to the hospital later for bleeding, probably from giving birth in the school. It's a really sad and messed up situation. Oprah can't control everything in her students' lives, but she can choose who she associates with. So when some folks think of Oprah Winfrey, they can't help but think of Harvey Weinstein too. They've been linked for over 2 decades as friends. A lot of people argue that Oprah couldn't have not known about Weinstein's reputation, which has been shady since the 90s. When he faced all those accusations and cancellations, Oprah allegedly reached out to offer support, though her team denies it. But because of her longtime friendship and sympathy shown towards him, him, people wonder why Oprah would stick by someone like him, especially given his disgusting behavior. Last year, the idea of freedom sent shockwaves through the entertainment world, and it wasn't just about box office numbers. Now, the buzz is even louder thanks to Macaulay Culkin's unexpected comeback. The Home Alone star isn't just sliding back into the spotlight. He's blowing it up with jaw-dropping revelations. In an alleged interview, Culkin went all in, dropping bombshells that have everyone stunned and scrambling to figure out what's really going on.
He reached out to me because a lot of things were happening, big and fast with me. And I think he identified with that. I mean, at the end of the day,
It all kicked off when a wild article started making the rounds, sparking a total firestorm. According to this unverified piece, Macaulay Culkin allegedly dropped some seriously shocking accusations about Hollywood's elite. The headline alone, Macaulay Culkin, Satanic Elites, do the unthinkable to young ones during rituals, is enough to make anyone do a double take. The article claims Culkin didn't hold back, straight up calling out ruthless studio execs and labeling them as monsters involved in disturbing rituals with young actors. It sounds like something out of a dark Hollywood thriller, but if even a fraction of it is true, it's a chilling look at the twisted reality that might be hiding behind all the glitz and glam.
Did people treat you differently?
I'm always treated differently. Whether I like it or not.
Actor Macaulay Culkin stated in a radio interview that Hollywood is dominated by Satanic P, who ritually murder children. One version of the story appeared on sites like Your Newswire, Neon Nettle, and News Punch, known for creating sensationalized and false content. The material has since been replicated by other fake news websites. Hollywood executives are described as bloodthirsty Satanists who ritually children in the industry, according to Macaulay Culkin. He claims he survived because he was a smart, suspicious kid and became too famous to be like some of the other kids. Culkin stated, "You learn early to recognize which of them want to A you and which have even darker tastes." He explained that the worst of them wear shoes made from the skin of children that they ritually endeared. Speaking on a radio show in Paris, France, Culkin remarked, "Have you seen leather products made from human skin? It has a very unusual, distinctive look. I learned at a young age to identify it." A controversial article on News Punch, attributed to Alan Smythe, claimed that Macaulay Culkin revealed in a radio interview that Hollywood is controlled by Satanic P. According to the piece, Culkin alleged that when he was 11, a Hollywood executive tried to get him hooked on crack and even bragged that his custom-made leather shoes were made from the skin of the late child star Heather O'Rourke. These shocking claims reportedly surfaced in French media, including Les Echos, only to be removed within an hour of publication. Fact-checking sites like Hoaxbuster have shut down these stories. Guillaume Brossard from Hoaxbuster pointed out that there's no real evidence to back up the claims about the supposed interview or the stories supposedly published by Les Echos. He mentioned that the screenshots and translations shared by sites like Your Newswire, Neon Nettle, and News Punch are either fake or badly translated from English. The article also made wild claims about people using human skin to make shoes, but there's absolutely no proof to support that creepy allegation. It looks like this whole thing is just a made-up hoax designed to push some crazy conspiracy theories about Hollywood's supposed dark side. While some former child actors, like Elijah Wood, have spoken out about child exploitation in Hollywood, their concerns are based on real issues, not wild stories involving Satanism or ritual. Stuff like this, spread by fake news and conspiracy sites, just adds more confusion and misinformation.
Working in this industry, it can push you in a lot of different directions that are not necessarily.
Just a heads up, this article's claims haven't been confirmed yet, so take it all with a grain of salt. Allegations like this are no joke and should only be taken seriously when there's solid evidence or someone to back them up. That said, Hollywood's no stranger to crazy rumors. They spread like wildfire. The stuff about Macaulay Culkin and some big names in the industry hasn't been proven. But let's be real, Tinseltown thrives on secrecy. The whole snitches get stitches vibe is real, and it might explain why people rarely call out powerful players. If there's even a shred of truth here, it could make sense of why Culkin's career took such a nosedive and why he disappeared from the spotlight for so long. Hollywood has a long history of shutting down voices that rock the boat. And anyone who dares to speak out, they usually end up paying the price. Culkin's rise to stardom, hello, Kevin McAllister in Home Alone, feels like a dream come true. But behind the scenes, fame often comes with a steep price, especially when shady stuff might be going on. Whether these rumors hold any water or not, one thing's for sure. Hollywood loves its mix of mystery and controversy.
There's Home Alone, and she's like, huh? You wanna watch it? And I'm like, you wanna watch Home Alone with Macaulay Culkin, don't you?
At just 10 years old, Macaulay Culkin shot to superstardom thanks to Home Alone, charming audiences worldwide and becoming an overnight sensation. His fame went through the roof. Think magazine covers, big brand endorsements, and paparazzi chasing him everywhere. His performance even scored him a Golden Globe nomination and a Young Artist Award, cementing his place as Hollywood's favorite kid. While there are plenty of wild rumors about him floating around, it's smart to stay skeptical until there's solid evidence. Back in the day, Hollywood producers couldn't get enough of Culkin. He starred in hit after hit, like Uncle Buck, My Girl, and Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. He even had his own cartoon show, Wish Kid, and a standout cameo in Michael Jackson's iconic black or white music video. Culkin was the golden child of the 90s, but as we've seen time and again, all that fame comes with a heavy price tag. Moreover, Scarlett Johansson has also been involved in such issues. Scarlett spoke for the first time about the Woody Allen SSA allegations since being called out in Dylan Farrow's open letter last month. Johansson, along with Cate Blanchett, Alec Baldwin, and others, was addressed by Allen's estranged daughter in an open letter detailing Farrow's alleged essay at the hands of Allen. Johansson finally spoke out about the controversy in an interview with The Guardian, published Saturday. I thought it was irresponsible to take a bunch of actors that will have a Google alert on and to suddenly throw their name into a situation that none of us could possibly knowingly comment on, Johansson said. That just felt irresponsible to me. Johansson had often been seen as a muse for Allen, appearing in his films Matchpoint, Scoop, and Vicky Cristina Barcelona. When asked about the backlash to Allen, the actress said she didn't think there was one. I'm unaware that there's been a backlash, she said. I think he'll continue to know what he knows about the situation, and I'm sure the other people involved have their own experience with it. It's not like this is somebody that's been prosecuted and found guilty of something, and you can then go, I don't support this lifestyle or whatever. I mean, it's all guesswork. Even fans have noticed all these weird incidents, and one of them wrote, I always believed Corey. Since he had the courage to speak up, he has changed it so much for other stars and other victims. He was so brave to face it all. There's some absolutely evil, sick people out there. I hope through him in time, things will change for the better for the other victims. Another one added, I didn't believe Oprah could possibly be connected with any of this until she started that girl's SCUI. And then I expected stories to come out years later about problems there. And there you have it, folks. Elijah Wood has officially entered the ring, standing shoulder to shoulder with Macaulay Culkin in a battle that could shake Hollywood's elite to its core. That's it for today. See you in the next video. Until then, goodbye.